What's up, farmers? Welcome back to another heyday video. Well, not necessarily in heyday, but definitely to do with heyday. In today's video, we will be ranking all machines in heyday, all production machines, based on how easy to hard they are to master, or how easy or how hard, in general, how difficult they are to master. I did a tier list before on heyday, which was for the heyday events, and think you guys enjoyed that pretty well. At least it was you guys enjoyed it from what I could tell. That time it was with a stream. I was gonna do it in a stream as well today, but the Jen or Gizmo Spike decided to move her stream to right now, and I'm not able to plan the stream again before the year ends. So that's not to say Jen can't stream at this time. It's perfectly fine. But I just want to get this stream, get this video out before the new year, because I do want at least a video out where I say that. Well, I hope you guys had a lovely Christmas, and I hope we will be going smoothly into the new year. I hope you will also be going smoothly into the new year like I am, or at least I hope I am. And yeah, 2023 has been quite the ride for us. So, but I'll talk more about that later at the end of the video. So yeah, but we're still gonna rank the machines. It's still gonna be fun, and well, let's see what we can get. So it's gonna be based on mastery. Nothing to do with the unlock level or anything. As you can see, it's all out of order anyway, so this is gonna be fun, I think. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy. I don't see the bakery near. Did I forget about the bakery? I might have forgotten about the bakery. Where's the bakery? Oh, here's the bakery. Wow, I'm blind. I'm sorry. I thought the bakery was missing. But yeah, you guys can also play this for yourself, or rank it for yourself. I will put the link to this tier list in the description below, and also in the comments if you prefer that. I have made sure to include every machine, as well as the beehive, the bee tree, and the squirrel tree, because both of them also can earn stars and can be mastered. What I haven't included is the lobster and duck machines, because they don't have a mastery. They are only upgraded, so that's not really mastering. And I also won't be including the event machines, so the gift wrapping station, for example, or the Easter egg machine. Mainly because they are temporary, and well, mastering them is pretty much impossible anyway. I can already tell you that it's impossible, because the event is way too short for the amount of time that you need to master the machine. So yeah, I'm not gonna be including them, but all the others are included. So let's start right off with the ice cream maker. So the ice cream maker, I don't exactly remember when I mastered it or how I mastered it, but I know for sure that this one is probably best fit here. So if you have to add anything or agree or whatever, let me know in the comments what you think of all these choices. And if you disagree with something, why do you disagree with that? Maybe you want to switch some stuff around. You can also do that. And like I said, you can also rank this for yourself when I post the link in the comments. So the ice cream maker has some really long products in it, if I recall correctly. Most ice creams there's a lot of ice creams in the ice cream maker that take over 2 hours. So this is one that's actually probably going to be running for quite a lot for you anyway. In fact, I think I'm going to place it here, because a lot of products in the machine are 3 hours long. There's also some that's 4 hours long even. In fact, basically the whole first page of the ice cream maker can all be used for mastery. Then you have the peach ice cream, which is 3 hours. Then you have the orange sorbet, which is 3.5 hours. Same goes for peach ice cream, I think. Wait, no, not for peach ice cream. It goes for banana split as well. But I think by the time you unlock banana split and orange sorbet, you will probably have already mastered the ice cream maker, because it's pretty easy to do. I'm not sure if it's the easiest, but it's definitely one of the easier to do. One of the easier machines to master. So yeah, this one is definitely going in the easiest, in the bottom. Oh yeah, I haven't really named the tiers, but I guess I will. A machine raised straight from hell, so that means the machine is absolutely horrible and it's really, really hard to master, or just really tedious in general. Oh, I'm sorry. Machine that I want to throw out the window, not quite as much. Well, I should probably clear it up a little bit more. I mean, like, I want to throw it out the window, but not quite as much as the ones in the top tier. This tier is gonna be is with machines that are absolutely horrible. Fairly difficult but manageable. I think this speaks for itself. Fine, not the easiest but not the hardest. Also speaks for itself. Fairly easy, speaks for itself as well. Easy to do but can be tedious sometimes. So there's some machines that have so that they probably are very easy to do, but maybe the ingredients might be a bit tedious. Maybe the times could be a bit longer. That's up to us to decide. And quite easy to do, most likely running all the time. Well, this one also speaks for itself. So yeah, that's all the tiers that we have. From the waffle maker we go to the from the ice cream maker we go on to the waffle maker, and this one is going to Here. Because of how much sugar it takes and the products not being that taking very long, it's definitely not the worst, but it's definitely deserves this tier in my opinion. Well, actually, I'm kind of debating on putting it here, but it's not quite as bad as the ones that are gonna go here. I know quite a few that are gonna go here, so but I'm not sure if. I don't think this deserves that spot, because, well, if you have good sugar management and if your sugar mills are running all the time, then this one isn't as bad. But definitely the times can feel quite short, and well, this one can sometimes not be fun. But I think it's manageable for what it is. Although I do wish that we got a waffle that's longer than 45 minutes, but I think this one is okay to do. It's hard, it sucks, but and honestly, all machines that run for shorter than 7 hours, in my opinion, aren't that great. It would be nice if they all ran for 9 hours at least, but well, and that's mostly for sleep and work, so that you can at least have some time to play with this machine. But because I don't think far from everyone sleeps for shorter than 7 hours, so I don't think that's very optimal for this machine. But oh well, yeah, definitely not the worst, but far from the best. And then here we have the lure maker, I think. And this one is going straight in here. And, well, the products, well, the red lure takes 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Time already goes off while you get the first and the second star. And then the third star also comes around, which is 5,880 hours long. This machine and the net maker are both tied with hours, although the net maker isn't as bad, but we'll get to that later. I think it's somewhere near. It's like, yeah, it's one of the last machines, but yeah, definitely this one is worse than the net maker in my opinion, and that's because the slots are already very expensive. And the lures don't take super long. Well, you can, and like the slots in total cost more than 400 diamonds to expand, and that's just 400 diamonds is isn't even correct. It's 900 diamonds, 980 diamonds, I think, for the newer net makers. But yeah, the net maker has products of 4 hours. Well, this only has products of 1.5 hours, and you can't, like most machines on the farm, you can't just expand it fully, like really easily, and then just put 9 products in it and then it will run for a while. You can't. Well, you can if you have the money for it and are dedicated to do it, because I don't recommend it. But yeah, even if you have 9 slots, this one is easy to do, probably. But 9 slots is very expensive, and it's just not worth it for just the 3rd star. So this one is definitely going in here. I think if the slots were just like the regular slot costs, then this one would be a lot easier, I think. What I also find annoying, by the way, about this is that you have to use the lures to make more lures. It's not that slow, but sometimes it gets annoying. At least for me. Might not be for you guys, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments, like I said, if you agree or disagree. A lot to say about that one. Let's move on to the yogurt maker. The yogurt maker is... if you have good dairy management, this one isn't too bad. But if you really need a lot of cream and milk, this one sucks. And just for that, I think I am going to put it in here. It really depends on how well you're able to manage your dairy. Because the longest product in this machine is the plain yogurt, which take 2 hours each. So that's 18 hours if you have 9 slots, but that does take 18 cream and 27 milk. So maybe if you have Rose and Ernest running, this one is really easy to do, or baby farms even. But if you don't have either of those, then this one can be tedious. But honestly, it's not that bad in my opinion. It was definitely bad when I had other machines to master with a lot of dairy as well. But I guess if you take machines one by one at a time, then this one can also be seen as pretty alright to do. Then we move on to the... Is this the taco kitchen or the pasta kitchen? I'm not sure which of the two it is. I think it's the pasta kitchen. Is it? Which one is this? This is the pasta maker. Do I even have the taco maker in here? This is the taco maker. This is the pasta kitchen. Okay, yes, nice. So the pasta kitchen, I think this one also depends on how well you're able to manage things. Because the longest product takes 2.5 hours, which is pasta carbonara. And although it needs cheese and all that stuff, and I think it needs cheese, bacon, eggs, and something else. Is it milk? Cream? Something. I think it's milk, but yeah, if you are able to manage that, which you should be able to, because it's only one of each per product, this one is pretty easy to do. And as for the pasta, I don't think you will have much trouble with it, and that also making the pasta also counts towards mastering the pasta maker, which is down here. So honestly, this one is not that bad. In the time that it takes to make one pasta carbonara, you will long have the milk and bacon and all that stuff back. So I think this one is pretty easy to do. But I think I'm also gonna put it here, because it also kind of depends on your management. This one also depends a bit on your management, but products tend to take longer in this one. So, and this one is also more likely to run all the time. These three, I don't think I see running all the time, but really depends on how you mention your storage as well. I'm not good at that, so that's just something you'll have to make up yourself. I think I'm actually gonna put it like this. I think this one is easier than this one, but like I said, it's all good. The sauce maker. I think this one can really go in here. Because this one is also gonna run all the time. I promise you that. This one is actually also gonna run all the time. Because you always need sauces. And I don't know which of the two I find to... I think actually I'm gonna put it here. Because this one is actually gonna run all the time. Because you need so many sauces, and the first sauce you unlock is soy sauce. And that's the first sauce you will have until level 60. So that means you have 6 levels to master this thing. And I think that should be more than doable. And even if you don't, olive oil is used a lot in mayonnaise, which you unlock even later. But olive oil takes 45 minutes, so that can also help add up to this one. And yeah, in general, this machine can run for like daily, like non-stop. Soy sauce takes 3 hours each, and so that means if you have 9 slots, you can run it for 3 times 9, 27 hours, which is over a day. So this one and this one can really be switched around depending on your mood. But I think this one is easier because sauce maker generally runs all the time. And then we come to our first nightmare machine. Well, this one is also a nightmare, but this one is even more of a nightmare. Although I can't really decide between these machines, but this one is a nightmare, in my opinion. But I think purely for the fact that the slots are cheaper on the fondue pot, I am going to put it in front of the net maker. And that's probably gonna go for all the machines in this tier. But seriously, the fondue pot is tedious, but surprisingly not the most tedious. But it still belongs in the tier that it's in right now. Yeah, what can I say? So I live streamed when I mastered this machine in August, I believe. Yeah, it was back in August. And the first product you unlock requires a chocolate bar. So that already tells you the mood for this machine, because the product with the chocolate bar also only takes 25 minutes. So they're putting a 20-hour product. By the time you unlock the fondue pot, you probably have mastered the candy machine, maybe. And then the chocolate is 17 hours, but still, it's a lot of hours for a product that only takes 25 minutes. So this one just sucks. And then you get bacon fondue, which is probably more manageable, but still requires a lot of bacon, a lot of broccoli, a lot of olive oil, and something else. I think mushrooms, but I'm not sure. And then you have potato fondue, which is probably the least recommended to make, because it takes 20 minutes, but it requires potato. Did I say potato omelet? I meant potato fondue. The cheese fondue it's called. And the cheese fondue takes 20 minutes only, and it requires a potato bread. It requires mushrooms. Mushrooms aren't too bad. The tomatoes also aren't as bad as... and then you also need cheese. But seriously, for 20 minutes, that's not worth it, in my opinion. And the last fondue you unlock is tropical fondue, which is probably the one I recommend the most to make. But the downside of that is that it unlocks level 100. So really, this one isn't great until level 100 to master. But it's not the worst. The worst machine. It's up there, but it's not the worst. Believe me, we are yet to get the worst. And honestly, looking at the machines down there, we aren't far away from the worst. From the worst ones. I'm kind of deciding debating on switching both of these, but it's really hard for me to decide when this one has tougher products. This one doesn't have tough products, but the slots are just very expensive, which makes it harder to master. Because it's 6,000 hours or something total, and the slots require 918 diamonds to expand. But at the same time, this one it only runs for less than 6 hours, I think. So these two can honestly be interchanged, and that goes for all machines that go in here. But we'll see. And Van Loop pot, and the only reason the Van Loop pot isn't as bad as it could have been is because it only requires 1020 hours for the third star. That sounds like a lot, but believe me, the recent machines that have been worse have actually required a lot more hours than that. So I think this could have been worse than it actually is. But it was still a nightmare to master. I'll admit to that, because I had to run Tom for the chocolate bars until they came out with the tropical fondue. It wasn't fun. I still ran Tom after that, because I didn't want to constantly make tropical fondue, because then I would keep running out of mangoes and then would keep running out of sauce. It wasn't easy. The cream wasn't even a problem. Then we have the porridge pots, and the porridge pots. I think this one deserves to be in front of the waffle maker. Machine that I want to throw out the window, not quite as much. I think actually this one deserves this. It deserves to be here, because it's actually not as bad as the waffle maker and the fondue pot. And that's because for this one you need plain waffles. And for this one you need plain waffles to make the longer waffles as well, so that makes it worse. But this one has a porridge that only requires crops, so that's easier to do. Mint and coconuts tend to be literal crabs, but it's not as bad as it could be. I think if they bring out the new porridge that takes 1 hour, that would also be great. Same goes for this and this machine, but honestly, it's fine the way it is. But I do hope they bring out a porridge that's longer than 45 minutes. It would be great. Potentially even easier. I think the biggest downside is that you need a lot of honey for this machine if you want to master it as quickly as possible. And the apple porridge I wouldn't even recommend touching, even if you are mastering it, because that takes 2 apple jam. That's a lot. That's 12 hours worth of products in one product. That's really not worth it for mastery. And honestly, I would just get it. It's just a Tom product in my opinion. And the sweet porridge requires 2 honey, which isn't as bad. But if you have baby farms, then I guess that one is definitely going to be your main product. But personally, I struggle with maintaining that stuff. So I think this one deserves to be here. Just because for the fact that it doesn't require plain products like the waffle maker does. And about the yogurt maker also requires plain products, but the products that the plain products make don't take that long. I believe the longest one is an hour, so that just tells you that the plain product is actually more worth to make in this machine than the products that it makes. Which is actually the only exception from all the products, all the machines that require plain products to make other products. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. This one can go straight to hell. This one is actually the worst one in my opinion. Am I gonna swap these? I'm not sure, honestly. I think this one can be turned on at any time is the thing. This one doesn't require any ingredients, it just requires a lot of refilling. And for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it back here. But the milkshake bar is actually the worst machine that they brought out yet to master. If you're not going for mastery, then this machine is probably likely even gonna be ignored. Because it requires whole freaking ice creams to make products. And those products take only up to 45 minutes. And the longest product the longest product in this machine takes 45 minutes. But damn, it requires 4 really annoying products. I mean, syrup isn't as bad as the other 4 because of 2 sugar mills, but still, toffees take 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 60 minutes to 1.5 hours. I mean, cookies. There's 2 cookies in it, which take up to 2 hours, and then we have the vanilla ice cream, which also takes almost 2 hours. So that is recipe for disaster, and that all goes into a product of only 45 minutes. Maybe if they made the milkshake also like 2 hours, then that would be great. But seriously, 45 minutes for all that's not worth it. And then you have the mocha milkshake. The mocha milkshake requires 2 espressos and 1 chocolate ice cream. Honestly, that's probably the one that I recommend making if you don't have Tom activated, or perhaps baby farms that make ice cream all the time. Because the third milkshake is the one that I probably prefer to this one because of Tom. But if you don't have Tom, then the mocha milkshake is probably the best one to make. It still sucks, but I think you can at least make 3 chocolate ice creams in the time that it takes to make 9 of those mocha milkshakes. Actually, it's only 4.5 hours I think it runs for, so it's 2 chocolate ice creams, but it's still fine. At least the machine will still run a bit. A lot of people I know, though, have decided to ignore this machine completely until a new milkshake comes out, and I don't blame them. We really need a milkshake in this machine. They could. I don't know if they were able to or not, but they could also move the peanut butter milkshake over to the milkshake bar, and maybe they weren't able to, and that's perfectly fine. But they can still bring out a milkshake in the milkshake bar, which perhaps takes longer and is easier to make all 3 of the ones that we currently have. And I was going to talk about the fruity milkshake, and the fruity milkshake needs peach ice cream, so that's also pretty annoying. But definitely not as annoying as the vanilla one. The vanilla one can jump into fire. So, yeah. This is probably the worst machine in the game. And, while the fondue pot requires only 1020 hours, the milkshake bar requires 1630 hours. So that's actively worse than the fondue pot. These 2 also require 1630 hours, but personally I don't think they're as bad because the ingredients aren't as bad. But they are definitely not the greatest either. But this one is definitely the worst in the game, in my opinion, at least for now. And then we have the bee tree. Not sure about this one, honestly. This one is honestly also pretty. I don't know. I'm also don't really know where to put this. If you constantly keep collecting bees, this one is easy. If you constantly forget about them, it's a bit harder. But this one is mostly just collecting, not much else to do about it. So, well, it does take a long time. I think it took me from level 40, from level 39 all the way up to level 60 or something. I definitely think this one isn't too bad, and I think I'm gonna put it. Well, it is harder than these 2, so I think I'm gonna put it here. Actually, this is the order that it has to be in, because this one is slightly harder than this one. So, but this one I think is probably the hardest of these 3. But it takes a while, but you don't need products or anything for it. It's just collecting. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it here. Then we have the bakery, and this one is honestly going here. The bakery is another machine that you are very, very likely to master very quickly, because this is another one that runs constantly. If you like harvest wheat or anything, just run this constantly with bread or cookies or whatever. This one is really easy to do if you just make it run constantly. And it's also probably the machine with one of the least hours in the game. So this one is easy to do, and I don't think this one takes much effort. And same goes for this one, but I think this one might be slightly easier, because it has products that take 2 hours and even longer than 2 hours. If you constantly run the hamburgers and fish burgers, this one is easy to do, and it's also another one that's probably gonna run quite a bit. You can also run pancakes in it, which also you can sell pretty well. So, and those also sell for a bunch of coins. So this one is another one that I'm pretty sure you will be running pretty constantly. But yeah, like I said, all these things can be switched appropriately. Then we have the flower shop. The flower shop just requires a lot of crops, but it does belong in the row of this, I think. It requires a lot of wheat, indigo, and cotton, but I don't think it's that bad, because it's just 1044 hours for 3 stars. So this one is honestly not that bad, but it can be bad if you don't run it constantly. I guess the worst part of this machine is not necessarily mastering it. It's the fact that rustic bouquets sell for nothing, and well, you will have to post rustic at like 1 coin just to sell the rustics. But apart from that, I think this one belongs in this row. It's very difficult but manageable to do. The salad bar. The salad bar has a lot of long products, so for that reason I think I'm gonna put it here. It has a lot of products that take long to do, but I'm not sure which product is actually best to make. I believe there I had to check whether I was recording or not, but I don't know which salad is actually the best. But I think the summer salad is probably the best, because it's 2.5 hours. Although it does require onions, it can be fairly annoying. But I think that one might be the best to make. And honestly, all products in the machine aren't that bad to make for mastery, apart from beetroot salad maybe. But apart from that, I think everything should be doable. Feta salads I would also probably not recommend making all the time, because it is 2 goat cheese at a time. But if you don't mind that one is also not that bad. But yeah, I think this one definitely earns the fairly easy. This one is another machine that can be considered from hell. And you know what? I might put it there. I might put it in hell, in the tier, because man, these machines products take almost no time at all. The longest one is 30 minutes. This one doesn't even run for 6 hours. It doesn't even get close to 6 hours. This one is absolutely horrible. It's not as horrible as these 3, and that's purely before the fact that you only need 960 hours for it. Only. But my god, that was a hell to master still. Espresso only takes 5 minutes. The second product only takes 10 minutes. The third product only takes 15 minutes. And then raspberry mocha finally takes 30 minutes. And that's the longest one in the machine. But perhaps it's best to wait until you iced banana latte, because that's only milk, coffee beans, and bananas. whereas the raspberry maca does require cream, but honestly both of them aren't that hard to make. It's just the fact that they take so short that it makes it tedious. Well, this one is another one that can definitely differ in opinions, but in my opinion it's one of the worst. The tea stand. I guess with apple ginger tea this one is manageable. But it does require a lot of tea leaves, which are tedious to grow. Where am I gonna put this? It's honestly definitely not as bad as the coffee kiosk. So I think I'm gonna put it here. It requires a lot of crop still, but it's not that bad. I believe the apple ginger tea takes half an hour. You can also make milk tea. That's the longest one in the tea stand if you don't mind using a lot of milk. That one takes 45 minutes and then it runs for 6 hours and 45 minutes. I think this one isn't that bad. That bad to do. This one is honestly manageable in my opinion. In your opinion you can also differ again, but oh well. Not much else to say about that one. The squirrel tree. The squirrel tree is like the honey tree, to be honest. And just for the fact that it's slightly harder, because the squirrels take longer, I am putting it behind the bee tree. Because it's mainly because the squirrels take longer, and the bushes might be more expensive and maybe too expensive for some people, but most of the time this one is doable. Because it's just collecting, you don't need to do anything else other than placing and chopping and placing bushes every once in a while. But this one is honestly not as bad as these machines here, because it just takes like half a year maybe, but all you have to do is collect, and that's basically why it's there. No ingredients required or anything. The candy machine. Candy machine. So the longest product in this machine takes an actual 24 hours. So for that, in that case, I think I'm gonna put it here. And that's mostly because once you put in the jelly beans or the chocolate or the lollipops, all three of those take really long. You can't make any other candies, and you will have to rely on other friends or neighborhood people to sell you other candies that you may need while all the jelly beans are making. Because if you put even one jelly bean in it, it runs for the whole day. So for that reason, it is really, really easy to do. And if you put 9 in, then it runs for over a week. It runs for 9 days straight without stopping. So this one is incredibly easy to do, but can definitely be tedious just because of the fact that you can't make any other candies if you do that. But apart from that, it's really, really easy to do. And actually, I think this probably deserves this. This is because of the fact that it runs constantly. But other than that, other candies besides all those three don't take very long. Maybe the toffee one. The toffee one can also be used, but requires butter and sugar, so maybe not as great. Although the jelly bean requires jams. Never mind. You are just going in here. Okay. Mainly because it does require jams and sugar, but just jams will long be done before the jelly beans. So I guess I'm putting it back. And then we get the pasta maker. This one does run all the time if you do it properly, but the products take a very short time. One is 15 minutes, the other is 20. So where am I gonna put this? See, it runs all the time, but it's definitely tedious. And if you try to master the pasta kitchen, this one is also gonna be running all the time. So I guess for that in that case, I'm gonna put it behind in front of the pasta kitchen, or behind the pasta kitchen, because it takes a lot longer to do it than a pasta kitchen. But yeah, this one is definitely gonna be running a lot on your farm anyway, so this one is gonna master on its own. It's not really much you can do about that one. The candle maker. It requires a lot of beeswax, but the products take quite long, so I think I'm gonna put it here, just because of the fact that you need a lot of beeswax for it. I believe the longest product is 2.5 hours, so you can definitely do it with that. So this one is pretty easy to do, even with just strawberry and raspberry candles. Those can also rack up your hours pretty good. You just need to make a lot of beeswax, that's the problem. And then the cupcake maker. The cupcake maker requires a lot of sugar. And if you don't run some, if you can't run some, or maybe don't have a baby farm or whatever, this one is probably going either in here or in here. But I used some for a lot of it, for like all of it, maybe probably. And I still think it's gonna go in here, because I had to use Tom constantly for the plain cupcakes. But the cupcakes that you make with the plain cupcakes take up to 2 hours. Although the cupcake with 2 hours also requires two cream and 2 cookies, so can be tedious. But I honestly recommend making the tropical or the guava cupcakes. Those are fine. But just because of the amount of sugar that it needs, this one is going in here. And honestly, it can go behind this one, because this one needs less sugar. This one needs a lot of sugar. But if you happen to have a lot of sugar, or a baby farm or whatever, this one isn't as bad. For me, this one would probably go in here. But I'm also gonna kind of think for you guys. And so it goes in here. Although the cupcake products take twice as long as the waffle maker ones. So in that regard, maybe the cupcake can make a longer. I don't know. It's preservation station. Interesting name. The longest product in this machine takes 5 hours. 5 hours. So that means I think I'm gonna put it behind here. Well, this is from here. I don't get my tier list anymore. Yeah, from hardest to easiest. This. So I think this is easier, because you will be running it probably constantly, because of the 5 hour product. It takes 40 hours total, but like the candy machine, if you put all of that in, or 45 hours it is even. If you put all 9 of those things in, you can't make anything else in it. And honestly, all 5 products in this machine can be used as mastery. So, because I think the shortest one is 3 hours, so they can definitely all be used for mastery. Although I wouldn't recommend you making the canned fish, because that requires a lot of fish and olive oil. But pickles take 4 hours, and kimchi, which is takes 5 hours. So and you need a lot of cabbage for it, but you will have that long back before all those things are done. I think this one deserves this place. And then we have the omelette station, and the omelette station is honestly the easiest machine they've added this year. That's not gonna. I don't really know where to put it. I think this one also deserves this. Mainly because of the reason that the products don't take as long and won't clog the machine for the whole day. Most likely, that is the reason that I'm putting it in front of the preservation station. But it does require 2 tomato sauce for the longest product, so that's maybe not the one that you want to make, but you can still switch between them. What I did was I made a colorful omelette, which is only 1 hour, but It does only require crops. And I switched that between the colorful one, the cheese one, which is 1.5 hours, just takes cheese and all that stuff. Then we have potato omelette. I used that one as well, which is 1 hour and 50 minutes. And then I also made 3 rice omelettes. So I made 3 of each omelette and switched around with them. So that's honestly my strategy. You can use it. You can throw it in the trash. You can roast me for it. But that was my strategy, and that actually worked pretty well. So, and if you do that, it's honestly not a bad machine at all. I think it's pretty easy machine to master. Just gotta remember to make it run. That's most of it. This one can be tedious because of the high amount of rice you need. And I think for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it here. It is pretty difficult, and I think I'm actually gonna put it here. Yeah, because if you want to run the longest sushis, you need a lot of soy sauce. But if you want to run the easiest sushis, you need a lot of rice. Either way, well, actually, if you run the harder ones, you also need a lot of rice, so it doesn't really make a difference. But the shorter ones take slightly more rice. But anyway, this can also be interchanged if you like. It took me a while to master this. I think I mastered this at the beginning of this year. In fact, I mastered 15 machines this year. So applause for myself. I applaud myself for that one and give myself a pat on the back. I think I did pretty great with that one. It's really, if you have Tom, then you can run him for a soy sauce. But if you don't have Tom, then it's probably best if you make the non-soy sauce products. Unless you have a baby farm with a sauce maker, that can also help. But really, this one can also be pretty debatable. The smoothie mixer. The smoothie mixer is one of the easier ones. And I'm just gonna make this quite easy to do, or most likely running all the time, because I think this one definitely deserves to be in here. And that's mainly because of the red berry smoothies being really easy to make. It's definitely not easy I don't think it's easier than a barbecue, but I think it's definitely easier than the bakery. Because it requires the red berry smoothies require 1 hour and 15 minutes. Actually, that's not true. This bakery needs a lot less hours. I think this one is easier, and this one is also the easier. But actually, these are from hardest to easiest as well. Why? These are from easiest to hardest even. So this one goes over here. This one stays here. Then you go over here. Oh god, what am I doing? Over here. You go there. Then you go in the middle. That's it. Thank you. So yeah, the smoothie mixer has red berry smoothies, which take 1 hour and 15 minutes to make. So it will be running for a long time. And if you just stuck up on strawberries, and blackberries are really easy to find, and raspberries don't take very long to grow, this one is really easy to do. Honestly, this one is not gonna take long. Even the other smoothies won't slow it down much. So really good one. The feed meal is tedious as hell. And that's mainly because the feeds run so short. It does run all the time, of course, but it's definitely not something that's really easy to do, because it takes 5,880 hours. I think I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna put this here. Well, the feed meal also requires the same amount of time as the lure maker. So, but the lure maker requires so many more diamonds, and the feed meals actually require less diamonds than all machines on the farm ever. So, for that reason, I think it's easier than the net maker, and it's also gonna run the lure maker, but it's also gonna run all the time. But seriously, chicken feed only takes 5 minutes, cow feed only 10 minutes, chicken feed only 20 minutes. The longest thing is the wheat bundles, which take 1.5 hours. But if you make those, then you clock up the whole feed mill, and then you can't make any other feeds unless you don't clock the other feed mill as well, because there's 2. I mean, because there's 2, it's also easy to do. But that rhymed. But yeah, wow. This one is also pretty tough. Although, but it's definitely not as tough as this one, because it requires a lot less time to expand. And then this one, the pie oven. The pie oven. The pie oven also has really long products, honestly. So I think for that reason, and this one is also probably gonna run all the time, at least in the beginning of the game. I think I'm gonna put it in the middle, because this one has longer products than the bakery. Actually, this one has. I am confused about my own tier list. So this is harder than this one. This one is harder than this one. This one is harder than this. Okay, that's not. So that's not right. Now it is. So this one is easier than this one. This one is easier. The pies take quite a while to make, and I think if you constantly run pumpkin pies, carrot pies, apple pies, it can go really quick. So this one is also easy to do, in my opinion. The sugar mill also belongs in here. And honestly, I think this belongs here, because this one runs all the time, literally all the time. Because without sugar, you can't make anything. So this one runs all the time, and for that reason, and for the short hours as well, I think this one definitely deserves to be easier than it's definitely easier than the pie oven and the bakery and all this stuff. So definitely easy to do. Then the juice maker. Well, all the juices take a long time to make. Well, not all of them, but quite a few of them. And this one is another one that you are probably likely to run a lot. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot for it. It's pretty nice. You run it a lot for tomato juice, for products, and for cherry juice as well, for other products. And then you have berry smoothies, berry juice, which takes 2.5 hours to 3 hours or something. Not entirely sure which of the two, but you guys will correct me in the comments. So yeah, that one is definitely easier, but the sugar mill just runs all the time, so that probably makes it easier. In fact, I think I'm gonna put it here, because I think you actually need the sugar mill to make products in an ice cream maker. So yeah. And then we have the hat maker. Now the hat maker has the cloche hats, which require a lot of wool, but they do take about 2 hours. And I think maybe the top hats aren't too bad if you're okay with cotton fabric management and feather management. So I think the hat maker deserves to be here. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it here. Well, you don't need beeswax for the hats. I think I'm gonna put it. Yeah, you don't need beeswax for the hats, so it makes it easier. So yeah, I think this deserves to be here. That's probably the best spot for it. The deep fryer, the longest product in it is samosa, but dang, it unlocks very far after the deep fryer. Still, that's probably the best product to make for 1.5 hours. That's or 1 hour and 15 minutes. Actually, I think it is. So that runs for up to 11 hours and something minutes. So for that reason, I think this one deserves to be. Although you do need a lot of potatoes and a lot of chickpeas, so that's one thing to keep in mind. But I think it's fine. This one deserves to be here, I think. And then probably here. You don't need beeswax for any of these products, of course. But this one is probably easy to make the hats in, and this one is easy to make the other products in. Not like you can make products from the hat maker in the deep fryer, but oh well. I'm confusing myself. The hot dog stand. The hot dog stand. It has the onion dogs, which can be annoying because you need 3 onions at the time and a lot of bacon. So I think for that reason, here, I think, and then I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot for it. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it all the way over here. This one, because of how short the products are. And this one, well, it is. I don't think it's easier to do than the yogurt maker. So there we go. I did definitely think this one is tedious to do, just for the sheer amount of bacon and onions you need. Which doesn't sound too bad, but man, you need a lot of onions in this game. And then we have the jewelry. The jewelry requires a lot of bars. But if you have those, then it's not too bad. Although you do need to update the personal train first. Which makes the jewelry master a lot later than probably it could. But I think for the reason that you need jewelry, the bars for the personal train as well, I think I'm gonna put it here, because once you have upgraded the personal train to your level, your town level, you can definitely make jewelry, and then it becomes easier. But until then, until you upgraded the personal train, it can definitely become tedious. The longest taking product in this machine is 4 hours, but it requires diamonds, so don't make that. but I think you can definitely make bracelets or necklaces. Those two tend to take quite a while as well, so I think those two are the best probably to make. Maybe iron bracelets as well, but besides that, the other two aren't worth making. You also have peony, the peony things, the petals, pendants, but not worth it. They aren't asked anywhere. Bath kiosk. The bath kiosk. The bath kiosk. Sounds like I'm saying bad kiosk. The bath kiosk has exfoliating soap, which is the easiest to make in a machine. But if you don't master it until you unlock the rich soap, then the rich soap is better, because rich soap requires less crops overall. So yeah, there's that. So this one, kind of depends on how long you take with it. I think this one is definitely like fine, but not the easiest, but not the hardest. I think this one deserves to be over here though. Not too much else to say about that one. And then we have the smelters. The smelters are another thing that is probably gonna run all the time. Although, and the products in it also take very long. If you have all 5 smelters, these machines can master pretty quickly. Although it does take over 8,000 hours, I think, or 7,000, somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 hours. But if you have 5 smelters, it goes by very quick, because the pattern bars require 18 hours to make, I think, or 20, 18 or 20. I'm not sure. Correct me in the comments below. But yeah, definitely they run for a while. They don't run all the time though, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. Streaming did make it easier to make some decisions. But this is still going to be an hour-long video because of how much there is to say and smash and rank. Yeah. I think I'm gonna put it here. Just because of how many bars you need, but you're probably not likely to run it all the time. If you do a lot of mining tasks, then you are. But it's also because the smelters, there's 5 of them, and you have to buy all 5 of them, which is incredibly pricey. And the slots are also pricey. So for that reason, I'm actually gonna put it here. Because the slots are very pricey on them as well. Because they are, I believe, you only get 1 slot per smelter. So yeah, it's a lot of diamonds for expanding this machine. But it's fine in my opinion. I believe it's 132 diamonds to expand to expand 1 smelter. So 132 times 5, you name it. 132 times 5 is 1600, I think. That's not true. 132 times 5 is 600. I'm bad at math. I'm gonna calculate this. I have my iPad in front of me, but not gonna play. I'm not gonna show heyday footage today, obviously, because we still have quite a few machines to go, and we are damn far into the recording. Let's see. Let's calculate it. So 132. Yeah, 132 times 5. No, not times 3, times 5. 660 diamonds is what it costs to expand all smelters. So that's also pretty expensive, but far from expensive, from as expensive as the lure and net makers are. And even without the extra slots, they run a long time if you put products in them. So definitely easy to do, but not the easiest. And mostly because you also need to buy all the 5 smelters. Honey extractor. Honey extractor is not a machine that's gonna run all the freaking time, but it's not easy to master. So I think I'm gonna put it here. The products only take 20 minutes and 38 and 45 minutes. I think the beeswax is definitely good to make for the candle maker, and the honey is needed like everywhere, so that's good to make for everything. So yeah, definitely there's serving of this spot, but definitely not the easiest. So yeah. A pretty messy tier list maybe, but this is definitely what I'm my opinions. The sandwich bar. If you have a lot of bacon, a lot of lettuce, a lot of bread. Let me check if I'm recording still. I am still recording, that's amazing. If you have a lot of bacon, lettuce and bread, this one is gonna be easy to do, or a lot of eggs and a lot of mayo, whatever. Because the longest sandwich is, I believe, the one with egg, and that one takes 2 hours. So that's probably the easiest to make. Not the easiest, the longest one to make. It does require mayonnaise though, so be careful with that. But that does come back to this machine right here, the sauce maker. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna put the sugar mill all the way back here, because the sauce maker requires a lot more hours, but the sugar mill runs a lot. So yeah. The sandwich bar, not entirely sure. If you're able to manage the sauces, then this one is probably pretty easy to do. I think I'm gonna put it... Does require a lot of mayonnaise and a lot of bacon. So I think I'm gonna put it here. I think this is probably the best place to put it. I'm not sure what to do with these two, and they're not even machines. So should I even have included them? I'm not sure. I think this is definitely the deserve spot. The pasta maker definitely only has 15 and 20 hour products, so 15 and 20 minute products. Wait, these two are only collecting. I just realized they're only collecting. So for that reason, they're going all the way to the front. And these, I'm not sure which one is easier here. I think the sandwich bar is easier than the hot dog stand. I don't think it's easier than this one. The pasta kitchen is definitely maybe a bit more tedious than this one. Oh, never mind. You need a lot more dairy for this one. And this one, well, can stay where it is. And yeah, not much better else to say. The jam maker. The jam maker takes a long time. All the jams take a long time. So this is another one that's likely to run all the time, pretty much. Although, again, if you make a lot of jams, you can't make other products in it. So on the jams, there's only jams in the jam maker. Logical. The longest jam I think is 8 hours, which is marmalades, but you can master it long before that. So I think I'm gonna put it. I think this one can pretty well go here. I'm sorry for the white backgrounds. I can't do much about them. I just took them from the wiki, so you can blame them. Actually, I haven't actually seen presentation mode. Oh my god! I wish I found that out earlier. That's actually a lot more helpful. But yeah, we did it. So yeah, this is what we have so far. So yeah, the jam maker has a lot of jams that take a long time to make. I don't think it runs. I don't think might be the easiest, honestly, because of how long it runs. Well, whatever. We can always switch it back. The taco kitchen. The taco kitchen is annoying, but not as annoying as other machines. I think I'm gonna put it here. The issue with the taco kitchen is that you need a lot of sauces or a lot of cornbread, which to a lot of you might not seem that bad, but gee, I needed a lot of cornbread. The longest product is the fish taco, which takes 1.5 hours, but it needs 2 cornbread and fish, so that can be annoying at times. You can also make nachos, but that requires cheese and salsa. And then I guess the easiest product is the one with the chili pepper, the quesadilla. But it only takes 1 hour, but it can probably be the easiest to make. So, but I'm not sure when that unlocks. Maybe one of you can let people know. The loom. The loom has the longest part, I think, is 3 hours. Just the blue sweater. This is probably another one that's gonna run a lot because of the cotton fabric. Although probably not quite as much as these machines here. So I think I'm gonna put it here. The loom, you need to make cotton in to run the sewing machine. I thought it wasn't in there, but it is. You need to run a lot of cotton in there to run the sewing machine, so it's definitely important. You also need cotton for other products, so definitely one that's running a lot, but not one that's probably running all the time. The stew pot. The stew pot is really easy to do. Like, it's really, really easy to do. It's just crops most of the time. I think the longest one is 2.5 hours or 3 hours, I think, maybe close to that. So, actually I think it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Not sure. Correct me on that one. I keep asking you. This one runs a lot if you run it constantly. I think the longest product does require a lot of bacon and onions as well. Not as much as the hot dogs. I think I'm gonna put it. This one is hard to decide. The loom requires a lot less hours, so that might be the. So I'm probably gonna put it here, at least. And I think I'm also gonna put it past here because it products take longer. I think it deserves to be here. The preservation station has longer products, but this one definitely doesn't have the worst product at all. It takes so long, and by the time you get back from work or wake up, the machine will still be running. So that's honestly one of my most one of the most important parts of this. The fudge shop requires a lot of butter. And I think for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it here. I think I'm gonna put it maybe like right here, because it's a lot more difficult. It's more difficult than these three. That's what I know. I think it's also more difficult than this one. It's like no doubt. Mostly because of the amount of dairy you need. Yeah, I think that's probably the best place for it. You need a lot of butter for this one. The longest product is the chili fudge dough, which takes almost 3 hours. So that can be actually it's not as bad, that bad at all. I think I'm gonna put it like here, maybe. Just because of how much butter it needs, but it does take 3 hours for the longest product. So almost 3 hours. It takes 2 hours and 15 minutes with this one. That's what I was confused with. So if you have 9 slots, this machine can run for almost 27 hours. So that's really, really good, honestly, in my opinion. Maybe not in yours. The soup kitchen has a lot of long products, and is also one that's probably gonna run quite a bit. But not all the time, so it's definitely not supposed to be in here. So the omelette station definitely might be more difficult than that one. The soup and the stew pot are actually kind of quite similar, and for that reason I think I'm gonna put it like here. Actually, I think the stew pot might be easier to do, but this one is also honestly not too bad. Maybe the ingredients can get on your nerves sometimes, but it's honestly not that bad. I think this one can be done pretty quickly. Actually, this one requires less hours, so it's gonna be easier. I keep switching them around. Cake oven. It's like the pie oven. It runs a lot and has a lot of long products as well. So I think this one can be. It's definitely easier than the. It's definitely easier than the pie oven because the products take a lot longer. There's some cakes in here that takes like 3 hours, 4 hours even. So definitely one that can run like all the time. Is it easier than the juice press? I think so. Actually, I don't think so. You do need dairy for the cakes and stuff. So for that reason, it's maybe a bit harder. Then we get the net maker. The net maker is definitely easier than the lure maker, but damn, it still takes a lot of hours and a lot of diamonds if you want to master it very quickly. But one thing I can say about this is that it. I think I'm actually gonna put it there. The nets take 4 hours each, so even if you have 2 slots, the machine runs for 8 hours, which is pretty good. And the third slot is not too expensive yet; it's only 10 diamonds. So then it becomes 3, and then you can run it for 16 hours, that's pretty good. And it's also one of those machines that's gonna run a lot because of ducks and nets, ducks and lobsters. So I think definitely this one is easier, but it can still go to hell for the price that you need to pay for the slots. Other than that, not much to say about it. The donut maker. Yep. I'm noticing that I'm putting these three like right next to each other, and in fact, I'm gonna put it here. I think it's the hardest of the bunch because the plain product takes only 15 minutes and the longest product only 35 minutes, which also requires jam. So, but the one that I constantly used was the crunchy donut, and that takes 30 minutes, so 4 hours and 30 minutes for it runs total. And for that reason, it's definitely harder than these two here. But it also, like these two, it also requires a lot of sugar, but it does require less, even though it requires less sugar, it does take longer, this one, in my opinion. Can be switched around with any of these also. The sewing machine. Longest product is the blankets, and that takes 3.5 hours. But it does require 5 duck feathers, which makes it immediately not worth to make. I think the one that's the most worth to make is the violet dress or the woolly chaps. Maybe the cotton shirt if you're up to it, but I think the violet dress might be the best. I don't know if it's easy to do necessarily because you do need cotton, and I think for that reason I'm gonna put it here. You do need cotton, so I think I'm gonna put it like here. Actually, I don't know if you belong there anymore, but I'm not even gonna put it anymore. I don't wanna waste much longer on this video. Do need cotton? I think I'm gonna put it here or something. I don't care anymore. The dairy. Well, we all know where this is going. These two can be interchanged, but this one unlocks earlier, and just for that reason it goes here. But then this machine is another one that that fits better. This is a machine that runs all day and every day because it needs so much dairy and so much sugar. These two are honestly gonna run a lot, and for that reason I'm gonna master really fast. I'm not looking specifically at all machines and their hours, but yeah, this is honestly not that. This is honestly probably the easiest machines in the game. Sorry. The pottery studio. The pottery studio is like the preservation station. It runs for a long time. You need clay, but it's not that bad at all. These two are honestly pretty equal, in my opinion. Maybe this one is slightly less difficult, but these two can be interchanged. Wok kitchen requires a lot of rice, but is honestly not that bad. Although it requires the most hours of any machine besides the feed mills, smelters, lure, and net maker. So, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You just need to refill it a bunch of times, but it's not that bad. I think I'm gonna put it here, just because it requires a lot more hours, but it's easy to do. Maybe it deserves to be here, just for that, and I don't know. You guys can decide that after. And last but not least, we have the popcorn pot. The popcorn pot is another one that probably runs a lot, if you do boats especially, and whatever. So I don't know where to put this one. It definitely doesn't deserve to be in these four. See, the one is this one, or this one. Is it one that you can often? It is one that often runs, but not as often as probably I guess for money purposes this one runs a lot, so that's probably why I'm gonna put it here. I honestly don't care anymore. we have been going for so long, I'm getting out of breath and I need something to drink or whatever. So, but anyway, this is our tier list, guys. I'm gonna share, like I said, I'm gonna share it in the comments below. You guys can rank it for yourself. If you don't have machines locked, then you can also decide not to rank the machines you don't have locked, because you probably won't even have experienced it. So you won't even have experienced it at all. So you won't be able to give a fair ranking. But decide whether you can do whatever you want with it. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching all my videos and live streams in this past year. I have blown up a bit this year. Thank you, Gizmo Spike, for all the... Thank you. I would like to say special thank yous to Gizmo Spike, Hesse, CJ, and all the members in my chat. Everyone that has joined this year for streams, or videos, or anything. Well, I would like to thank Gizmo Spike for even letting me share my stuff in her Discord. Like, if you want to see more content creators and whatever, go to the Haley Discord and go and join Gizmo's server. Especially, she is probably the best content. I don't want to play favoritism, but I'm still gonna do it. To me, she is probably the best content creator out there. She's my favorite. But yeah, and CJ I want to thank for all the moderating, for even caring a lot about my channel. Like, seriously, I feel like I'm making you do too much sometimes with modding and all that stuff. But you don't seem to mind. You never tell me you mind. So thank you for everything, and thank you to the rest. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the views. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for everything that you've done for me in 2023. I am very excited to see what we are going to be able to do in 2024. But until then, this is the last video of 2023. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, and I wish you all the best New Year's Eve that you could have. And I hope 2024 is going to be great for you, all of you. I'm looking up more than I should, but thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you guys in the next video, in the next live stream in 2024. This is Art the Farmer signing off. Peace out, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful rest of your 2023. Goodbye.